Welcome to Splash of Socialism. We here at SOS are not socialists in the modern sense. We are not anti commerce. We are not anti business. We are anti exploitation. We also demand that society's bare minimum needs be met, no matter what. We are also passionate about language. We have watched helplessly as the media has abused language to lie and fearmonger. We are here to share our truth. We are here to out hypocrisy where we find it. To do that, we also need to reclaim the language being used to divide us. We don't have all the answers. We are probably going to get details wrong. This is where you come in. If we get something wrong, call us out. And if we made a stupid mistake,
Like referring to London as a country. Oops.
yeah, but by all means, make fun of us. We are having a conversation. We are not teaching a history lesson. These conversations are unscripted and unedited. We have nothing to hide.
Welcome to SOS. My name is Laura Hodge, and I am joined by my co-host JT. Assisting us is Tristan the Tech Whiz. We are going to start each episode by reviewing a few related policy topics from my website, proudprogressivepatriot.com. And then we are going to have an unscripted conversation about those topics. We will end each episode by answering what should be an obvious question, but somehow still seems to be in debate. Today's two topics are: 1. Should we close Guantanamo Bay? I say yes, but first, all current detainees need to be granted military tribunals. If they are found guilty, they should be sentenced to imprisonment or, in extreme cases, capital punishment. If they are found not guilty, they should be sent home. And question 2, should we be flying drones, either with weapons or for intelligence gathering, in foreign nations? And I say no. If another country did this to the USA, we would consider it an act of aggression, if not an act of war. So, JT, let's
Hey,
start with, what do you know about Guantanamo Bay?
well, I've been around since its inception, and I've seen lots of dramas about Guantanamo Bay, but as far as actual facts, not so much. And when you brought up the question, should we close it, didn't occur to me that the right thinking is, let's get these guys tribunals. Hello,
Oh no,
that's
they're
why they're
totally
there.
just being held.
Yeah, no, that question I absolutely agree, or that solution I absolutely agree with. Give them tribunals and then be done.
And yeah,
But,
no, we're holding them
but,
indefinitely with no due process and torturing them.
right,
Like, this is
but
not.
I also wonder if having Guantanamo Bay, even not with its current residents, might not still be a bad base to have open.
Uh, I mean, the base in Cuba, sure. I don't
Or
know.
the prison,
I
or the federal prison.
I mean, I
Well,
think we should shut down a lot of our overseas
actually,
bases. I
actually, that's a
really,
military prison, isn't it?
yeah, it's a Navy prison.
Yeah. Because the other option is that these people wind up in dark holes, dark places. At least if there's a facility like Guantanamo where we can keep some transparency over the people that we're fucking over, um, you know,
No, I don't. I mean, I get what you're saying, right? Like, I do. I feel like, there is something to be said for, threat of punishment, whatever. But this ain't the way. Like, we talk about American values and respect for the sanctity of life, and behind closed doors we torture, rape, and murder. Like, this ain't it for me. I've actually been to uh Guantanamo Bay, the base, not the actual prison. But when I was in the Navy, my ship pulled into Guantanamo Bay. It's some of the prettiest water in the whole world. Just gorgeous. And the base is gorgeous, and it's strategically significant for us to have a base in
mhm,
Cuba Just like it's
Absolutely.
strategically significant for us to have bases in Japan and Germany and where else we have them everywhere. Something like 150 countries that the U.S. has some kind of base in, and there is not a single country that has a base on U.S. soil. It seems a
I didn't
little
realize that.
lopsided.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me where there's the German Air Force base in Oklahoma. There's not.
Huh. I had never considered that. I like that.
Yeah, no, we just
I mean, that just shows our entitlement as this police force of the world.
oh yeah, just we're imperialism in America is strong.
Yep.
It's all about domination and control, not about support and lifting people up. It's all about what can
Well,
we take and
now, if there was a situation where, say, Germany had to have a base in the U.S., um, that would be really interesting to try to
never
figure
gonna
out.
happen.
Well, I mean, it'd have to take a really huge reason for that to happen. Like maybe something Russian and they need to have bases surrounding Russia. And I don't know.
It's not. I think the odds of us closing all of our military bases around the world is
Next to
higher
low.
odds than us allowing another country to put a base on our soil. I don't think
Wow.
it's never gonna happen.
Hmm. Now, I just had never thought of a reason for another country to put a base on our soil.
I'm strategic locations, man. Like it's to have quick access. We
Well,
are the
it's not like anyone else is coming to help fight the war in America.
no, we're doing that to ourselves. Um, I read that the sixth largest military force in the world is the U.S. police force.
That I believe.
Isn't that
Even counting
gross?
counting every little podunk PD.
Yeah, like we have the biggest military by far, like more than the next 10 countries combined, what we spend on it.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and then number six on that list is our police force.
Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah, we spend a lot of money on keeping people in line.
Yeah, like the Gilbert police having SWAT vehicles and armored personnel carriers.
But it's unnecessary, man. We need to go back to the days of, Barney Fife and
Yeah,
police patrolling neighborhoods and knowing people and knowing their communities and being involved.
and
Um,
everything that I've read or seen in the last couple of years is cops have to be on the streets.
no,
End of
they
story.
don't.
You don't think so?
No, if people think or people try to tell us that lack of police presence is what causes crime, and that's bullshit.
Bullshit. Ooh, we can do that with two-part harmony next time.
Police come and take a report about a crime, but they didn't do anything to prevent it. Like I've had to call the police a handful of times. So I had a bike stolen, whenever when I was raped, I had to call the police. Nothing. Oh, sorry. Take your statement. Sorry about your luck.
Yeah.
So what are we doing? Like the way to prevent crime is to make sure everybody has what they need.
Like, oh, I don't know, a guaranteed monthly income from the government?
Or however you get to everybody having their basic food and shelter needs covered. Like
Yeah,
I'm still skeptical on UBI. We've talked about it briefly.
thank you. That's what I was trying to come up with.
Yeah, I do think it's probably the easiest way, but I don't think it's not without flaws. Specifically, if
Who gets it? Who doesn't?
well, no, because everybody gets it. That's the point of it being universal.
Okay.
Everybody gets it. The problem is we have things like the earned income tax credit, um, which a lot of people get. We're kind of devolving here, but um, that tax credit, sorry, I really just lost my train of thought. Um, um, that tax credit goes. Oh, sorry, I got it. Employers use that tax credit as a reason to not pay their employees more. And like, oh, you're being supplemented from the government, so that absolves my responsibility of what I need to pay for.
That's
And
kind of like people who live in a state where waiters and waitresses get tipped, or no, get paid minimum wage, and a
mhm.
lot of people think they don't have to tip anymore.
Yeah, that's no,
Ridiculous.
yeah.
Anyway,
And I just had another thought fly out of my head, like a drone flies, maybe.
oh yes, because we hadn't really talked about that. I did
Oh,
want to come back to you with that, with the thought that if we're in a situation kind of like Afghanistan, absolutely. If we, first of all, if we have permission of the country we're flying it in, that's absolutely one thing. If we don't have that, if we have the um, corroboration, not quite the
mhm.
word I'm looking for, from United Nations or whatever people are actually on the ground, um, I'm okay with that.
We don't
Um,
though. It's all unilateral. And they just came out with the most recent drone strike in Afghanistan that
right,
was in retaliation for the suicide bombing at the Kabul airport.
right.
They just came out and admitted that
We
they
got it
didn't get
wrong.
who they thought they were going to get. They got 10 civilians, 7 of them kids. That's what happens when you use drone warfare instead of people
Yeah,
on the ground. Like,
I don't know. I really need to think about this one some more because
sure,
it's it's such a tool.
it is,
It,
but we're using it the way we always use tools, which is, furthering imperialism, right?
yeah,
Uh, we the Obama's
slaughtering of people,
legacy of his drone strikes. I think
horrible.
more of his strikes killed civilians than not. Like the success rate of targets killed versus civilians killed is stupid low.
Hmm,
Like you get false intelligence or bad intelligence or
yeah,
just
that's going to happen
whatever,
all
and
the
you're
time.
like, oh, that's the guy. So you take him out from the air, and it wasn't the guy.
Well, and perhaps drones are so easy that people don't have to do as much background check and due diligence. Because if you're not flying a drone in there, you're putting um, a mission together.
Yeah, but when you have boots on the ground, those people are making that decision in the moment. And the drone flyer, it's not as real to them. It's, they're
Of
sitting
course
in a
not.
room somewhere with some controls. It's not, it's a lot easier to make the decision to pull a trigger when you're not looking that person face to face.
Mhm. And anybody who ever read Ender's Game, which actually well preceded drones with exactly this type of technology, sci-fi.
Hmm.
Um, I he it was like kind of like proof of concept of, yeah, I can be sitting here playing what is basically a video game and killing aliens
Hmm.
because that's what the book was. Well, the book was about, but that was a crucial part of it. Anyway, um,
I just think drones make it so that it makes it too easy to kill.
I think I was edging that way, but yes,
Like, I mean, we've perfected ways to kill. That's American ingenuity at its finest. Um,
well, and we have centuries of technology to build upon, or history to build upon.
yeah. I mean, that's we choose to invest our money in death, destruction, warfare, and compliance instead of the needs of our people. And I think we have it completely backwards. Like, what are
Of
we
course we do.
defending with our military if back here in the country shit's falling apart?
Property.
Yeah, property, exactly. No, that's what the police does too. They defend property, not people.
Yeah, there just has to be like sky opening up and some voice coming down saying, just fucking take care of each other, assholes.
Yeah, right. Seriously, aliens or God or somebody come smack
Yeah,
us around and get us in
maybe
line.
both. Yeah.
In the meantime, until that happens, all we can do is run for office ourselves and try and make the changes that we think are right.
Get involved. And I don't know how much more involved somebody can be than by what you've taken on.
Yeah, and there's something to that I am not, a career activist or lifelong, you know, political person, and career politician. Um,
But you have been
but
kind of lifelong political junkie.
right, and I think that's helpful. Um, I think that having I said this in the earlier episode, but I think that having a Congress full of entrenched career politicians has been more harmful than beneficial.
Mhm.
Because once you're successful politically, you're not suffering financially. At least
Right.
that's how we do it in this
You
country.
no longer have any true links to your constituents.
Hmm. And I worry about that with my own campaign and my own. Am I gonna get swallowed up by the system? And I hope not. I mean, I have things I bring to the table that other current politicians don't. My Buddhist faith for one. My beliefs that human life is what matters. Everything else could be replaced.
Well,
Um,
and there's my belief that this is such a critical year. It's like 1968. It's just one
mhm.
of those years where the entire environment, the political, the
It's an
social.
inflection point.
Thank you.
Hmm.
There we go. It's someplace where that's ripe for major change.
Yeah, and like I said, I think it was in the last episode that we don't have a lot of time. 2022, 2024 go the wrong way. I think we're gonna end up in some kind of civil war, um, fighting our neighbors.
Well, I've always wanted to expatriate to Costa Rica.
Right?
I mean, that sounds more fun than Canada.
Yeah, it sounds warmer. Canada's cool. I don't know. Climate change, maybe in Canada will be nice and warm soon.
Oh God, and Costa Rica could be underwater.
You're right.
Yeesh. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
sounds
But
like we need to get obvious, or we got a couple more points to throw in.
yeah, I mean, I I don't want to, talk about, oh, I'm going to run for Congress because I'm such a patriot, but at the same time, be so embarrassed in my country that I'm ready to turn around and flee it. And it's kind of a weird internal conflict.
Well, and for the last few years, especially the last 4 years, I'm not embarrassed to say that I don't love my country.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't love any other one better, but I do
Sure.
not love what this country represents and what it's become.
Yeah, not anymore. Like, and not for a long time,
Not for a
um,
long time.
but people don't see that when they don't have time to look below the surface. When they watch Rachel
Because
Maddow or Chris Cuomo and that's it,
they're
or
too far
Tucker
they're
Carlson
too
and that's
far
it.
they're too far under the thumb of the economy or whatever
They're too
to be
tired.
able to take that time. Yeah.
Yeah. And lots of people, even if they aren't too tired, politics is ugly.
Yeah.
People don't want to talk about it. But like every
There's
Facebook group I'm in that isn't a political group, one of the rules is don't talk about politics. Like, and I like
okay.
that makes me crazy because life is political. Like everything is a political
Mhm.
decision and has political consequences. But it's like we just don't talk about it. It's messy and it starts fights.
I don't, I'm not even quite sure what it would take for me to love my country.
I think our country taking care of its citizens would go a long way.
Oh God, absolutely, because that is my major complaint.
Right.
If my country does not take care of its people, then
And yet we
well,
still think we have some kind of moral superiority to go and implement our will around the world. Like we got it all figured out.
yeah. dispute that.
Yeah, it's just like, hey guys, this is working for like 40% of our citizens. You should try it. And if you don't try it, we're gonna bomb you into submission.
Yeah,
What are we doing?
my brain is starting to hurt.
That's fair. Yeah, this was a shorter topic, totally. But
Not
is
that
kind
much.
of the shift of a into a new direction out of electoral and into more national security. Um, so anything else, or should we move on to our obvious question?
Go for it.
All right. So today's things I shouldn't have to say, but apparently do is should the military be used, or sorry, should the military be allowed to use torture to gain information? Obviously not. When you torture somebody,
You're
they're
not
going to
gonna.
tell you whatever they think you want to hear to make it stop. They're not going to tell you the truth. Like it's a futile exercise in cruelty.
But that's a difficult one to navigate away from.
Yeah, I mean, it's human nature has some cruelty in it. You know, we have our, our ugly sides, and I feel like the whole point of being human is the ability to rise above that. And torture is just an ineffective way to get information. We have the biggest intelligence gathering apparatus in the history of the universe, and you're telling me you got to waterboard, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
the guy to find something out? Bullshit. You're
For,
doing it
for,
because you want to. You're doing it to send a message. You're doing it to, instill fear in the citizens about the United States, and it's gross.
um, on the one hand, on the humanitarian level, hate it. Absolutely hate it. Saying that it's completely ineffective,
No,
I'm
it's
still kind of
scientifically
bugging.
proven to be ineffective. Like there's
And
studies. You don't get the information you want. That like there's the science backs it up that when you're inflicting pain on somebody, they are gonna say whatever they think will get you to stop.
okay, I will cede my point and jump on board with you.
That's fine. And I mean, you can look into the research, but I have. Um, yeah, it's not only cruel, it's pointless and ineffective. So why are we
Yeah.
doing it? Because it's the way we've always done things. Time to move
Stupid
on.
white guy shit. Stupid white guy shit.
For real. All
Well,
right, well,
good
join us
night.
next. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, join us next time where we'll be discussing the military budget.
Good night to the 5th District and beyond.